Righto, hello again. Okay, where am I at? Trying to get LS injectors to work on an AJP V8. Here's how it's going so far. Nearly, but not quite. So, basically, for those of you who don't know, what am I trying to do here? This is a stock injector, and these are what's called an EV1 style injector. They've got this great big fat body to them. Yeah, they got different type of resistance to what you call the EV2 style injector, and they're or most importantly, they're a single outlet. So they're kind of like the first generation of fuel injectors. Now what I'm trying to do here is run LS1 injectors, which are EV2 style injector. I think the plugs actually the same or very similar. That's the plug there. Now, why am I doing that? Well, these ones here, these plugs are they've got 4 little injector holes, so they atomize the fuel better. They're readily available. They're stacked 10 high at the local wreckers. LS1s are everywhere here, so I'm trying to run with parts that are locally available and an improvement over the original. So yeah, that's the plan, but they are a little bit longer. So as you can see here, as I'm trying to get them in, it's just pinched all of these O-rings. Now, what I'm thinking, I'm going to have to put my thinking cap on here and decide what I want to do. You can get EV1 style injectors that are with a more modern spray pattern, like a 4 outlet spray pattern, to basically give you a modern injector in an EV1 style body, but they're dear as poison. I think some of the Porsche 928 people run them, but yeah, they're like insanely expensive, which just kind of defeats the purpose. So one of my options is this rail here on the inside of that lip. I can probably just put a little chamfer, get the Dremel out and just put a chamfer there. I know it's not going to affect the seal, because these injectors are basically going to be hard up against, they're going to be as far as they can go that way and as far as they can go that way, just because they are a few mil longer than the standard ones. So, oh, by the way, I've basically wrecked all those O-rings on those injectors just in trial fitting. So yeah, obviously I need to smooth out a few edges there, but I think it's going to work. So I'll just have a look from the other side actually. Yeah, see there, this side there, everything's fully home. So basically the other side, I just need to sort of push that side down, but obviously in doing that it's going to tear up all those O-rings. So what I'll probably do, so have a cup of tea and think about it. But yeah, I may just end up, well, I'll show you if I can get this off. Yeah, so just take this over to the bench. Yeah, basically something to point with this upper edge here. I'll probably just put a chamfer on that, just so they can slide in there rather than getting caught up on this lip. Should be no big deal. And of course, yeah, like I said, they're going to seat, or they're going to seal at the very bottom of this recess anyway, so having that little lip there is not going to hurt. Yeah, I'll let you know how I go. Righto, so I'm over in the other shed. This is where I try and do all my dirty grinding and welding, and here's what I'm up to. It's a little bit hard to see, but you can see on this edge here I've kind of opened that up. The idea being that when the injector goes in there, it's basically it's not coming straight in to start with, it's coming in at an angle, and then you kind of sort of rotate this thing down, and as it comes around and in, the O-ring was hanging up on here, and that's obviously not going to work. Now, I haven't messed with the surface where it actually seals is right down in there. I mean, these injectors, even the stock injectors seem to be hard up against basically the base of that hole. So with the longer injectors, yeah, obviously they're going to be hard up against it. And I haven't messed with that sort of sealing surface. That's untouched. Basically, I'm just giving it a bit of a chamfer so that I can get it on there without the O-rings destroying themselves. And these things, I've sort of done a bit of work on this before with these, but they've, like the standard castings, just seem to have lots of little barnacles and imperfections in them that just tear up the O-rings. I mean more on this sort of, on this lip. The actual cylindrical surface in there is spot on, but just that edge of that casting is just, yeah, just real rough. So yeah, I'll keep going with this, get all 8 of them done, and have another go, see if I can get these injectors in there. Righto, there you have it. She's in, and even this strap that holds the injector rails down, they fit. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. So even though I tore up most of the O-rings trying to fit them before I put the chamfer on the injector rail, but that's no big deal because I can just go down the shop and buy buy a whole set of injector O-rings tomorrow. So that's no big deal. I'll change them out right now. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I think if I get new O-rings in there with the way I've put that chamfer in there, they should be fine. So I think to round out the day, I might put my coils on the coil mounts that I made over the other side there. I haven't done that yet, and I'm getting sick of this great big annoying thing sitting here. I've got the adapters finally for my this is for the flex fuel, and this has these have a weird GM style fitting, and I kind of, it's my own idiot fault, I just thought they were all the same, so I ordered some off eBay, and it turns out no, that style of fitting comes in different different sizes. I thought it was just a GM fuel fitting. And my, would you believe it, my cheap eBay fuel fittings, as soon as I screwed them on there, they just tore the threads out of them. So that's all right, I can get them, they're readily available, and get them tomorrow and start putting the fuel system in. Basically, I need to put the fuel system together because as it stands, I've got the fuel relay out, so the fuel pump can't come on while everything's apart. So, and I have to try and track down which wire goes to the fuel pump to trigger the fuel pump relay. And obviously I can't do that while the relay's out, and well, it's not as easily, and I don't want the fuel pump firing up while I've got all the fuel system in pieces. So that's kind of the next step, one little thing at a time. I've still got I think I've got to decipher the aircon wiring, because it's a little more complex than I thought, because you've got that trinary switch which will turn the aircon compressor off if the pressure's too high or the pressure's too low, and you kind of really have to have that. You should wire that in so it doesn't destroy your compressor, and so yeah, I don't think it's super complex, but yeah, I've got to do it. So and old mate who does the repairs on the windscreen wiper module, if anyone knows him, give him a shout. I've emailed him, but he hasn't replied. So yeah, that'll be handy. So yeah, that's it. That's where I'm at the moment. Maybe I'll just make this a short video. Maybe I'll just make shorter videos. I think I might do that. All right, well, see you next time.